Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of HR to CHRO Podcast. And today we have Mr. Manash Kumar Bhattacharyya with us. He started his career with Ashok Leyland in motor vehicle sector. Then he joined GE into energy, endurance, and then he was at Perot Systems, which is into IT and tech, and then Essar, investment and finance. And now he's at Keller Infra Solutions, which is into infra solutions. So welcome, Manish. Thanks for giving us time.
Thank you, Amit. Good to have you here, and looking forward to our interesting conversation.
So I'm very intrigued that you have you never repeated an industry. And the general wisdom is that you stick to what you know best. So you move from one organization to another in the same industry. But here, looking at, so it was I would like to, I start with why HR, but it's so intriguing that I want to start with this, Manish. So was it a conscious decision to change so many industries? Because it's a risk. You enter a new industry, so you have to do new learnings and you have to work harder to do that. So was it a conscious decision or it happened just the way it did?
So, Amit, in my 20 years of HR journey, this is my fourth organization now. And yes, the decision or the movement, whatever I have done, is a conscious one. Because I believe that in every sector, even though HR approach is same, but you can learn a lot, you can contribute a lot. And my firm belief is that when we learn something, contribute something, and when you have your saturation point, you should move on and you should keep learning and keep contributing to different sectors. So that's why I started my career in a power plant, which is in a diesel power plant in Tamil Nadu. It's called as Covanta power plant. I started from soft floor. I understood people dynamics. Then I moved to Essar Group. During Essar Group itself, I had the opportunity to move in between telecommunication business as well as project business, construction business. I had a small stint working in a steel plant as well as power plant in Odisha remote location. Then I moved to again Mumbai, having corporate I would say corporate stint in various SBUs under SR projects as well as SR construction. Then I was part of Keller Group, which is the world's largest geotechnical organization in terms of geotechnical space. I was in Mumbai, now I'm in Delhi. So I think with time I could see this learning never stops, and that's only my motto, that I keep moving and keep learning new things and keep contributing.
Very powerful lesson here, Manish, that the desire to learn, because obviously when you join a new sector, the learning curve definitely will increase. But how does it help? So, what would be your message to the young HR professionals or young professionals in any domain who would be listening to this podcast that learning, how powerful is learning or how important is learning in one's career? Because to reach at the CXO level, it's only 0.5% people who reach the CXO level in the corporate world. So, how important is having this learning mindset?
So I think the learning mindset and growth mindset go hand in hand. A
Very
person having a growth mindset will by default will have learning mindset and vice versa. So when I'm saying learning mindset, particularly to the young HR talent, yes, 20 years back when I started my journey, my objective, my ecosystem was quite different what is in now. Probably the data availability, the AI, automation, the digital space in HR, the analytical space in HR was not that, I would say, at the speed of now what it is. Because we are evolving, HR space is evolving. So now my only message to all my fellow young HR fraternity is that you have the student inside you alive. That means the learning mindset. But at the same time, you need to be dynamic. There could be areas where you need to learn, you need to unlearn as well, or there could be areas which you need to relearn as well. So it's not like that. That is not a stopgap arrangement. I have done my MBA for 2 years. I have done one coursework, so I am done with my studies. Now I need to implement. It doesn't work in that way in nowadays. Constantly learning. I'll give a classic example. I mean, just 1.5 years back, actually, I have completed my third post graduation. I have completed
good.
my psychology post graduation on organizational psychology.
Very
Why I
nice.
have done it? No one has told me. But point is that I could understand that the pace things are happening, human psyche, the brain where people are having. We need to know the psyche of the people. The psychological input is very, very important. That's why I have undergone 2 years course, full-time course. And when I was writing the exam, after so many years, my hands were paining. But yes, that pain is worth taking, doing some assignment, doing some practical. I think it's required to know how brain works, because new workforce is, it's not like that you give a policy handbook and your job is done. You need to understand the psyche of the people, how the brain wire works. I think psychology is one of the topic, and that's why I have done it. So the whole story short is that learning never stops, and we should learn the way the ecosystem is asking us to learn. It's not like that what is you know looking good, it has to be looking good as well as it should be implementable as well.
Very powerful. Very. So this is such a powerful example that even at the senior level, you were actually taking out time to do your third post graduation,
Yeah.
which would help you in your current job, understanding people. So we'll come back to it, Manesh. But again, one another interesting thing that I can figure out from your career journey is that so few organizations you have worked in. Generally, the trend is that in 20 years, a person would have worked at least in seven, eight, nine organizations. But here you have worked only in four, five organizations.
Yeah.
So again, and like you mentioned, that in many of the organizations like Essar, you kept on shifting from one role and responsibility to another so as to learn more and contribute more. So some thoughts on this, Manish.
When I choose HR, by the way, Amit, I am actually BE mechanical. I started my education that I would be a hardcore engineer, mechanical engineer. But when I landed up in soft floor, I could understand that HR is my passion. HR is my to-go thing. And from that day onwards, I started to serve people. And when I'm serving people as a capacity of a HR manager, DGM, or whatever role I have, people is paramount. Because if you see, or if I observe my own career journey, actually we have people problem across all businesses.
Correct.
Every business exists to make profit, make money. They are not, any philanthropic organization. They make money. It's a reality. And everything boils down to how you make money with the right kind of people, and how we can have the right kind of people when they have right kind of mindset. So I think as a HR, we have I would say, a great opportunity to mess it up in such a way that we ensure quality revenue with quality people. And for that, the rule what we follow, right people, right place, right job. It is very easier thing to be done actually. So I'll give you a classic example. For example, in my uh, I would say experience as a HR professional in a diesel power plant, which is you can put it under manufacturing segment, and as a HR professional working in a infrastructure sector or a construction sector. If I go to a civil engineer, the expectation, role expectation, as well as kind of civil engineer we are looking for is quite different. So as a HR, if I only see, okay, if the person is having BE civil and he is the first class is distinction, let us do some written test, some mock interview, some CBI interview, then let him on board. If I do in that path, or if I follow that path of an HR, then I'll be a big failure. I must understand the requirement of a civil engineer is the same for both the sectors, but the ingredient of a civil engineer for a manufacturing setup and for a construction setup is totally different. So that's why I believe as a HR first we should must know the business dynamics. I'm not trying to say that we should be knowing technical know-how in detail, but we should be knowing what is happening, how it is happening. Once those basics are in place, I believe we can do justice to business. And that was my endeavor throughout my journey in my various capacities in various role in various organizations, wherein two things actually my mantra: one, serve people, and second one is value addition to the business.
Very nice. Very nice. So, like you mentioned, see, many of the CHROs or HRS that we have done the podcast with Manish,
Yeah.
many of them did not start their career from pure HR domain. Many of them, like you, were engineers and they started at the shop floor or in operations, some were in sales, some were in business development. So, my question is that does starting your career from some other domain other than HR, or even if you start your career from HR, having the knowledge of other domains, does it help in rising to the top faster?
So I would say this is actually a tricky question, Amit. It's a little bit yes and no type answer I must give you because it depends on individual.
Okay.
So as a person, I am very, very passionate about what I do. So I will take extra effort to understand, be technical, non-technical, because I'm a person who would be, breaking down the problem in stage wise, then go to root of the problem and ensure that the problem, how you can resolve it. So if you say, is it due to my technical know-how or my BA mechanical mindset of analytical thing, could be, or is it my personal, I would say, passion to go into the problem, resolve the problem for as people are facing it and have a winning situation. So it depends on the individual perspective. I do not say that there is a, I would say, uh, golden rule that you have to have this ingredient, then you can be successful. I believe it's all about passion, whether it is HR, non-HR. If you love what you are doing, if you are passionate that you want to make some changes, whether you are being given applause or not, but you are very much motivated to do your core, I think person will be successful, whether he is HR or C or he is non-HR.
Correct. Very right. So coming back to start of your journey, you started as an engineer at the shop floor.
Yeah,
Then you realized that your calling was HR
yeah,
and you wanted to serve people, like you mentioned.
yeah.
So how did you realize this?
So, when I was I started my journey as a management trainee in a shop floor, and I was wearing all these, boiler suit, going inside the what is called a boiler or a diesel power plant setup. Everything oils were there, and we have to have some kind of shift working. That means at times night shift, at times day shift. I just love working there because that was my first job. So another and who was there from inside. But while doing all technical calculation, everything, I could see that, I am more comfortable when there is a shift allotment of people happens. So I was part of like a right hand to my shift engineer, senior shift engineer, who was allotting people that these 10 people would be for the operation, two would be for in electronic department, five would be for maintenance for this shift. So actually, over a period of I think 1 or 2 months, it was that task was delegated to me. Manas, you do it. You allocate people because
Hmm.
he understood that I know each person's not only their qualification, their passion for that, and who can do justice. Who would be on troubleshooting? Who would be on emergency sale? I was doing the allotment. Second, when there's a shift, there's a night shift or day shift. I was internally very much motivated that everything comes on time in terms of there two times tea, coffee, lunch. That means over canteen. I was very much proactive. Okay, my lunch has come, but whether the lunch for other my batsmen have come or not, I used to volunteer and get it done. And at times grievances happen. Someone is on sick leave. Someone doesn't know what kind of PF benefits I should get. Someone is having some, I would say normally that person is very much into, but that day he was a little bit down. I go and approach him. What's happening, buddy? What's wrong with you? So that means you are not the person you used to be. So I could see that I was liking more on those aspects, solving people issues, understanding people, and I would say that was getting my some kind of passion inside, some kick was there. So that I thought, yes, this is my calling. Now, how I take it forward? Because after doing my engineering, I had a plan that I'll be doing for post graduation. So initially, I was thinking, okay, I should go to a management line. So I should obviously, since I am BE mechanical, so I should go for no MBA on operation management. That was my view because BE mechanical, some additional stuff I could learn, operational research I could learn. Those, those things are in my mind because I was never been a marketing or sales guy. So I was not thinking that MBA is not marketing sales. I should go for operation. I stick to my mechanical background. But while working on that, now I started studying about HR. That time we used to call it PM and HRD, Personal Management and Human Resource Development.
Correct.
So I started understanding that I could see what I am doing here. If I analyze my thought process, which is structured coursework, then probably I can do better. And then I landed up doing MBA course and here where I am now.
Very nice. So this resonates with what you said earlier that if you have the passion, you'll
Yeah,
be successful in every job because you had the passion, so you could find the right place for the right person for the right job, the
true, true.
grievance handling, their passion for work that they are suitable for, and being proactive in helping them out. And that is how serving people. So that is the passion which maybe has helped you reach the top. Very powerful, Manish. So see, we also talked about that serving people and serving business. Now, when I started my career around, 28, 29 years back, 27 years back, so that time, HR, like you said, PM and personnel management and IR and HR. So HR was looked at in a certain way as a support function.
Yeah.
Cut to now, where HR is more or less a strategic partner with a seat at the table, because now the hard work done by HR to understand business and contribute to the business strategy is very good. So, for the young HR professionals who would be listening, or HR professionals at any level, how important to have this business knowledge?
I think it's without knowing business and what we do, how we do, then how we can know the people or how we can serve the people. I think that is a basic primary question every HR professional, whether that person is at entry level, mid level, or senior level, should ask always. That without knowing my people, without knowing my people, how can I would say, implement my HR agenda or people agenda? And I know my people based on what kind of business we are doing. I think that is basic primary thing every HR person should do it. But here there is a caveat. There are a lot of people, fortunately, unfortunately, they think we know everything.
Correct.
They feel that if the recruitment is happening, we know the smartest tool, we know the smartest panel members, so we can just close it. I would like to give benefit of doubt for that approach, unless and until you understand what kind of the example what I was putting
Correct.
before, the civil engineer, a manufacturing and a construction, totally different. Only simple thing is that they are AICT approved civil engineers. They have got some marks. That's it. They have got a certificate, because we all know certificate and mark sheet is a gate pass for any candidate. Similarly for HR as well. Our certification, whatever courses we do, is a gate pass to sit in the table. But after that, we must know the business. If we do not know the business, and if we feel that I have a 10 plus years of experience in FMCG and I was successful doing recruitment, doing talent management in this way, and I will do the replica in, I would say, in a shipping industry, then probably that will not be sustainable. So knowing business know-how is a must and fundamental for every HR professionals, particularly the young ones.
Correct. So we'll come back to how, knowing about business. I'll ask you for more examples if
Yeah.
possible. But before that, see, what is apparent in our discussion, Manesh, is maybe because you happen to change so many industries, you took that risk. So that is why you are more suitable, or you are more capable of handling disruptions, or finding the right solution to a specific organizational, specific HR issue, HR challenge. Because you have worked in, and you have been able to look at the same problem from different perspectives, from different industry point of views. So having this varied perspective, uh, if a young HR professional wants to have this perspective, what are the different ways in which he or she can do this? One is to change industries so that you look at the same problem from a different perspective. Apart from this, could there be any other way where they can learn various perspectives?
So I think the opportunities what the HR professionals have now is immense. Now
Okay.
they only need to tap it properly. For example, I'll give you, there are a lot of professional bodies like NHRD,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a lot of professional bodies in every sector, not sector, every city, every town.
Mm-hmm.
No one stops you. You volunteer and go and participate those workshops, those meetings, meet various kinds of people,
Mm-hmm.
and under one roof there will be probably there are 50, 60 HR professionals with different sectors. Interact with them, understand their problem, share your problem, and get to know how they are making an effort to solve their problem. Your problems may not be solved by that, but at least you will be knowing some ideas from various HR fraternity in such group. That is one of way of doing it. Second way, lot of AI model, lot of e-learning models are available, lot of magazines are available. I think this constant learning is very, very important. And nowadays, you need not to go for 200 pages of a big voluminous book. You just tell AI or you just go to YouTube, they will give the summary. And
Correct.
for one chapter, if you feel this is resonate to your problem, go in detail and study that. So I think some bit of effort is required. Opportunities are plenty.
Very nice.
Resources are plenty. We just need to have little bit of extra effort. And I would say weekly basis, if 1 or 2 hours, we just if we budget ourselves, then let us go for a HR meet. Let us read a book. Let us go for a latest journal. Let us read an article in HBR. I think if we do consciously for ourselves once in a week, at least we will be at league with the changing dynamics.
Very powerful. And it again depends upon that learning mindset that one should have, which is
Yes.
like growth mindset. All right. So coming back to business, Manish. So how should a young HR professional try to learn more about business?
So there are two ways of doing it. First, as I said, the public literature are available, be it the website, be it the case studies, be it the media coverage. People should know, the HR professionals should know about the organization before joining. Post joining, I believe they should study the job description of the
Okay.
various role,
Okay.
because those job description will give the role expectation of every role, and that will give, because every JDs are being prepared based on business aspect. That is one part. Second, ask question
Very
to
nice.
the relevant people. Why, how, what? These are very, very important. And without and quote unquote being shameless. That if I ask this person will laugh at me. Hey, he doesn't know. Ask him. Nothing wrong. I think if we have that curiosity inside, then things should be smoother to start with.
Very nice. So like you gave the example of the civil engineer. What
Yeah.
questions would you have asked, or that person who would be hiring would have asked to understand that these are two different civil engineers which are required
Yeah.
for manufacturing and for
So,
infra?
for example, for manufacturing, a civil engineer probably will look for a person who, if he experienced one, will look for whether he has prior experience in shop floor, he has some design knowledge, does he know some software. Those aspects we'll look into for a manufacturing setup. If I go to a construction, I will be looking for a personality type who has a zeal to work under the sunlight near the machine. Does
Very,
he have that? Then I will see for a civil engineering background, because I would say fortunately, unfortunately, our engineers feel that once they are come from campuses, they need a office, laptop should be there, this should be switched on, and they should work. So
correct,
and reality doesn't happen.
correct,
So, but again, the what is the value system of that candidate?
correct.
Is he a from tier 2, tier 3 organization cities? How his parents? How much job is important to him in terms of he will do some extra so that he can contribute back to his family. So those technical little bit family cultural fitment, I think that will make both the things, I would say separate in terms of judging both the candidate. And again, it boils down to the same thing. I should be knowing for which sector and what kind of role I am looking for.
That makes sense. Very, very, very nice the way you explained, Manish. All right, so see, we have talked about having the passion. We have talked about the desire to serve people, the desire to, improve business or help business, and learning ability, that learning mindset, which will also result in growth mindset. What else have been your secrets of success, Manish?
I think, I would say this is in general, but always I also reflect back that I do not let my setbacks as my milestone. There will be setbacks at times in terms of some projects do not go in a intended way it should have gone, or probably some critical hire might be, I might be finding the person or the candidate is very great, but after 6 months probation, I could see his value system or her value system is not in alignment with the organizational value system. At times, yes, there could be some talent management initiative we have taken, but it backfired. Probably some pilot project it backfired. So those setbacks are there. I ensure that those setbacks should not make me freeze. Those setbacks should make me reflect so that I do not repeat it. And I should do the same thing with the new energy and the learning what I have. So I think setbacks should be there, because it's being said when you do work, you do some mistakes. If we are immune of mistake, then we become God. So we are human being. So we will do mistakes. The wiser thing is that we should not be repeating the mistake. We should reflect the mistake and we should not let mistake walk down us. We should not be, like a despair going down the drain. I think we should avoid that.
Very powerful, very powerful. Again, resilience. It is so important in today's world. So, see, we have talked about these things, and you move from one industry to another, and like you said, setbacks or learning ability that would have come in very handy in moving from one industry to another because newer challenges and the learning curve would be very fast. So, some interesting challenges, some interesting anecdotes if you could share how you face a certain challenge when moving from one industry to another or otherwise, and how did you overcome that?
So there are two classic examples in my mind now. Recently, when I was asking this question, I was reflecting. One is during in my stint in SR Group, one of the group companies, we were doing merger and acquisition. Actually, one of the group company was acquired by another organization. So I was part of the transition team, wherein we had to have lot of, I would say, employee grievances or employee question to be addressed. At the same time, we cannot be disclosing all information because of the regulatory framework, because of the merger and acquisition framework and all. And day in day out, actually, media is being reported. Media in Economic Times or other leading newspapers, news were coming that this group company of SR might be getting sold off, or this would be acquired like that, like that. So in that time, to keep the morale of the workforce in a right spirit, giving them what is called required information, that was a big task as a HR. So I was part of the task, what is called force. Even though we were doing a lot of formal communication, there we had a come up one idea that apart from that formal communication town hall, let us make people in a group. For
Okay.
example, today we are making the finance people, tomorrow HR people, day after tomorrow operation people, and not entire team, 10, 15 of them. And we just have a coffee chat with them. We have coffee, we discuss how things are happening, how mobilization, demobilization is happening, how if in a very very unfortunate way if there is a role redundancy it happens in M&A, and how we are helping in terms of outplacement. So we are openly discussing with that. So I will not say that 100% elimination of mistrust happen, but yes, with a sizable proportion there is a sense of, I would say, confidence among the workforce. Yes, if we have doubt, rather than doing some under table discussion, let us go and talk to this person and let us understand what is actually happening. So I think that transparent communication, informal way is very, very important. That was my, I would say, successful learning during M&A. Then another organization when I was part, then we had to have faces certain losses, so we had to do some right sizing. So when we were doing right sizing, we had to ask certain people go, and based on performance, based on other redundancy in the role. But there also I could understand one thing, that yes, asking someone to go is a painful task. Even I had sleepless night actually before talking to them and after talking to them.
Correct.
But I could see if we maintain the dignity of the entire process, dignity in terms of how you communicate, dignity in terms of how you are doing separation package, then I believe this hard task become a manageable task. So there also there's a great learning, and even though I had sleepless night, but at least I had a peace of mind that I could discharge my duty on a highly dignified manner, entire separation
Very powerful.
process.
Very powerful. So, not shying away from the hard tasks
Yes.
is also a secret in communication, transparent communication, and maintaining the dignity of everybody. See, again, you're doing your PG in organizational psychology.
Yeah.
This also correlates with how you communicate transparently, how you have a dignified interaction with people, and not shy away from difficult tasks. So understanding people, like you said, you wanted to serve people even though you were an engineer, and because of the reasons that you explained. But how important is understanding people and understanding the psychology, and I think not only nature in every segment, because ultimately we are a social animal. Human
Yeah.
beings are social animals. So some thoughts on that, Manesh?
Now, as I say, organization is all about people, and if we don't understand people, actually we cannot do our duty as a HR or as a manager or whatever role we are into. And In fact, I firmly believe all reporting managers are actually HR managers. It's not about only the HR functions are the HR, people, stakeholder. All managers are HR managers. So
Correct.
my only belief is that every people, you and me and everyone is, we have got differently wired brain, and our value system, our, I would say, the our personality type, we may modulate it wherever we are working, but as a person, as a Manas, as a Amit, it define how our wiring system is being done in our brain. And there are a lot of sciences are happening. It's all about a lot of techniques in psychology, a lot of techniques in neuro-linguistic programming, a lot of techniques in what is called brain wiring, which you are also very much aware of. And you used to conduct a very, I would say, successful and impactful, effective workshop. Also, you do it. So I believe this is the crux. If we know that we have 10 people and 10 people are differently wired, and based on that I started managing or I started treating people, then the success comes. There could be some people who need to know only the bullet points. There will be some people who need to know from step 1 to step 10. There are some people who you need to explain based on context, then you go to the subject. And there are some people do as I say. So I believe if we understand the driving factor of people based on the wiring of their brain, then I believe serving business through people would be, I would say, more manageable and more simpler.
Very nice. So, see, I want to ask you that how should a young HR professional design his or her career journey? There are 7, 8 different subdomains in HR. So, how which subdomain are more important? But before that, I want to ask you. See, you mentioned that within in a week, it is important that every person, every HR professional should set out 1 to 2 hours for learning. So, read a book or attend an event so that you learn about various industry, various challenges, etc. What else are the important habits or such tools and techniques which our young listeners can adopt and improve and rise to the top faster? After that, maybe I would come down to the career journey plan.
So I think, as I said before, there are a lot of opportunities, and our young people are more smarter. They have
Correct.
a lot of avenues. In fact, when they are in the flight, they can do meditation itself. They can sit the flight and they can put something in their headphone and do some meditation to make their mind calm. There could be a lot of books or audible books where they need not to read it. Just put
Correct.
so what is called earphone and just read the book. So there are a lot of avenues. That is one way of doing some self, I would say, development journey. But apart from that, there are a lot of certification courses available.
Mhm.
It could be now HR analytics is a new buzzword. AI
Correct.
in HR, a lot of courses in AI is a new buzzword.
Mhm.
There are a lot of mock interview happens. In fact, there are certain courses where they will tell you that okay, you just give us an interview or you just make a proposal on HR, one of
Mhm.
the assignment, and
Mhm.
the robot would be there or the AI tool would be there or the chatbot would be there. They will be observing it and they will give you a summary. That Manas, these things we have done good, these things you should have been done better, and these things next time you please change it.
Very
So
nice.
everything is quite handy. You need not to wait for some longer duration to get a result. So I believe for new professionals, aspiring professionals, they should make use of good, AI. Lot of opportunities are available. That is one. And second, they also should make good certification course and practice on analytics.
Very
Because
nice.
at the end of the day, numbers makes the, I would say, your key stakeholders engage with you. If you do anything, they will say, what is my ROI?
Correct.
And you get to know for about ROI through HR analytics. Even if you need not have a analytical mindset, but nothing wrong. To get yourself successful, get a coursework done and see whatever HR initiative you do it, there could be some ROI established. Because in long older days it's being said that HR is a support function. They do not show us any ROI. It will not hold good in today's world. Everything you do in training, recruitment, employee engagement initiative, health and well-being initiative, you do CSR, you do in code of conduct session. Everything can be measurable. It may not be distinctly, but ROI is always be there. And I think this ROI concept, people can learn more if they have more in-depth knowledge on analytics.
Very nice. Can you give an, would you like to give an example on ROI? How,
Yeah. So, there was the training. I'll just give you a training because this is a new buzzword. And when we say leadership training, and it's being said like leadership is a journey, it's very difficult to say that some changes happen or not. It's very difficult to get some ROI on immediate basis. So I planned one leadership journey. That means there were, initially it started with some workshops, some online session. Then we had coaching session. Then we had presentation by the participants to the panel of people. Then we asked the participants over a period of 2 or 3 months that please give us, okay, you have learned delegation. There is a topic called delegation. There are some techniques you have learned. Now give us live example where you have implemented it, and give us what kind of changes with the implementation of it you have observed. It could be I have not observed anything. I have observed 1%, I have observed 2%, but give us that data. And believe you me, we saw all the participants have given more than 50% success implementation rate.
very nice.
And so that means the buy-in of the learning has been transferred to the participants itself. We just need to probe it correctly and they come out. And when we presented this to our management, they are also happy and we also very, very happy that yes, whatever we have done, organization ROI is in place.
Very nice. So we, Kushalta, we also use all the workshop that we do our ROI based. So anyway, so coming back to how should a person plan his or her career? Out of the 7 or 8 subdomains like recruitment, talent acquisition or talent management or rewards and recognition, or I mean, or HRBP or learning and development, analytics, like you said. So, for the first 5 years, what should be a basic rough plan which a HR professional should have, or maybe no plan is required. You just go out with the learning mindset and try to learn and absorb as much as possible.
I'll vouch for the last part what you have mentioned. For example, if I correlate with a swimmer, so once if you someone has gone for a swimming training or swimming learning, the coach is not telling you that go start. No, there is a timer. Within this time, you need to cross from point A to point B. No, the coach will be helping you how to float first. So I
Very
believe the HR is a big ocean. So whenever an entry level person gets into it, he or she should start absorbing whatever he or she could. We should not be thinking initial 3 to 4 years, or I would say 5 years, that I would be a recruitment specialist, I would be a L&D specialist, I would be operation, HR operation. They should not think in that. They should have a journalistic mindset. After fifth or sixth year, people should be going as per their calling from inside in terms of what drives them and what is their cognitive skill in terms of getting job done well. Someone could be on L&D, someone could be on recruitment, someone on HR operations, someone on compliance, and
nice.
accordingly they should go it. But having said that, there are people after 5 years also, there is no hard and fast rule. If you want to make your journey as a journalist, it's perfectly fine. There is no hard and fast rule. At the end of the day, it's all about serving people, understand the business, and you should be liking what you are doing. For example, if everybody is telling that now talent management is a buzzword, so let me get into talent management, but my heart is in recruitment. There is no point, no fun. So
Correct.
I believe it's individual choice, but initially, unless and until person is very much specific, no, mujhe, I need to do recruitment only from day zero. But I believe they should have an open arm initial 4 5 years. After that, as per their calling, if not, journalist is always the answer.
Okay, so very well answered. Now, to probe it deeper, let's say I join HR and I don't know what is my calling. And for the first few years, 2, 3 years, 3, 4 years, maybe I just, do everything, whatever is given to me. But how do I come to know about things being done at other subdomains? For example, I am into recruitment. How do I know what is an HRBP does? What does an HRBP do, or what happens in talent L&D? And so some pointers on that, so that after 4, 5 years, 5, 6 years, I am better able to decide what is my true calling.
There are two ways of doing it, Amit. My belief is that one structured, one is unstructured. There are a lot of organizations where they do internal job rotation. They
Hmm.
do ops to compliance, compliance to recruitment, they do it. But yes, I also agree, very handful of organization. Because no one wants to, I would say, disturb the routine. If
Correct.
it is happening, let it happen. Then it comes for the individual responsibility, peer learning. The peer learning is the key.
Hmm.
If my peer is working in recruitment, I'm into operation, doesn't stop me sharing knowledge with him in terms of structured, unstructured way. How it is happening, what is the process of doing it. In terms of that, you learn as well, or you also share certain things which a recruitment guy may look for. For example, okay, you are hiring the candidate, after hiring these things are happening. So that kind of conversation we can have within the team itself. And other way, in my previous example, what I was trying to tell you, various forums like NHRD, any people forum, any workshop you go, and try to understand various kind of people who are working in various domains, try to understand how things are happening, how they are doing it. And the last but not least, if you enter recruitment, no one stops you. Volunteer yourself to go for a compensation
Very
course
nice. Very nice.
and get learn. Correct. That's all about. You can always, if organization is doing it fine. If not, at least you can initiate. One can initiate individual basis.
Very nice. Taking up stretch assignments and taking up small projects. Very nice. See, so from your perspective, what is the ideal way? Should one go deeper into one subdomain, let's say, and become a COE head, or it should be that maybe deeper in two or three subdomains over a period of 5, 6 years, and then horizontal spread, and so that you end up being a HR head or a CHRO. So, what would be your advice?
So all the three dimension what you have quoted is actually, I would not say they are not worthwhile. They are all, I would say, appropriate based on the individual person and what kind of context he or she is into, what is his or her driving factor. Accordingly, any of these three what you have quoted, they can or one should pick it up.
And how should one decide? Should one have, like you mentioned, these forums, NHRD, and in talking to different. So, networking, you obviously benefit from networking. How about mentors who can also guide you? How important is it to have mentors?
And that's a brilliant question. My firm belief is that everyone needs coach and mentor. Everyone needs in this world. But yes, again, the concept of coachability, mentally, whether someone is ready for coach, ready for getting mentored, is different subject altogether. But more or less, 80% of people are actually needs help. When I'm saying needs help, they need some guidance. It
Correct.
could be on career wise, it could be on assignment wise. So one proposal which I started in my organization is the monthly check-in call, and I had linked it with coaching as well. So wherein I ensure that every manager speak to his or her team regularly in a prefixed time, and it could be structured or unstructured. They can go and sit in a coffee shop as well.
Very
And they are not going to talk about the work assignment because for that they are talking every day. What they'll be talking? When last time you have taken leave? How is your mental state? Is everything okay? So that kind of conversation. What bothers you? Now, what is your key task you are planning for next 2 weeks? So that kind of conversation we should facilitate as a HR professional. It will ultimately lead to a coaching structure as well as learning organization. That is very, very important because coaching and mentoring, I believe, as a HR professional from this industry, it is taken very, very, I would say, not that the importance it should have been given. Actually, this is very, very powerful tool, and every HR professional should also be knowing how to be a good coach first, because listening people is part of a, I would say, coaching is what you just listen to people. You need not to give solution, just try to listen people. At least the person should know someone is there to listen to me and help the person navigate the solution, because the coach will give you solution. I think that kind of conversation every HR manager, every HR leader should initiate in their respective organization. That is a, I would say, need of the time.
Very powerful. See, I think this is all the more required because today, in the time of social media, we are constantly being judged.
Yes,
I remember
yes.
when I was in school, you come back from school and you are in this safe place. Nobody is judging you. Now there is Instagram and so many apps which judge you, how have you dressed and everything. And also
Yeah.
because of the disruptions, the and nuclear families. So earlier there was joint families, now there is nuclear family, nobody to support you. So being an HR professional, it is all the more important that you have that coaching mindset and the desire to help people, to serve
Yeah.
people like us. Very nice. All right. So see, to moving forward, Manesh, let's say 5 6 years I've decided that I've worked in one or two subdomains, or I've tried to take stretch assignments and try to gain knowledge. Now how do I plan my further career move? How to go about it?
So as I said, if my first two boxes are intact in terms of I have taken stress assignment, I got horizontal and vertical exposure, then I believe I need to see whether I am adding value or not in my current role or not. If I am adding value, great, keep doing what you are doing. But if you feel or if you attribute yourself that I am slowly getting into my comfort zone, then it's time to look out.
Very nice.
And we should be coming out that concept, oh, for this organization, 5 years, this 6 years, this is the routine norm. You are not doing injustice to anything. At least I can say that if you have developed the second line and you are already saturated and you are looking out, actually you are doing justice to your second line. You move to a new role, new organization, your second line has the opportunity to take your role. So
Correct.
you are doing justice by leaving from your current role as well. I
Correct.
think that dynamic mindset should be there.
Or maybe like in SR, you moved from one role to another, one
Yes.
business unit to another, and then you kept on learning and exploring. And
And I, since you took out the SR, I'll just tell one more thing. No, in SR actually, once I was given two options. One, that Manas, you be part of one business vertical's corporate office, and that time I had close to 8 or 9 years of experience. And another is go to a project location where is a captive power plant is being constructed, one steel plant is being constructed, and you need to look after recruitment L&D on that area, and that will be a remote location in Orissa. So I said, even though Orissa is not my home state, I prefer to go to Orissa because I believed that if I know the ground realities, then day after tomorrow, if I sit in corporate office, that will be making myself more relevant. I'll be knowing more things because I have a top-down view on that. Already I knew what is happening in the ground. Without knowing that if I started sitting in corporate office, I'll be only compiling the Excel sheet, nothing more.
very
So I
nice.
think this kind of judgmental call also as a HR professional should take,
Very nice.
knowing the comfort thing minus, yeah.
And you get to know about the basics, like you said, the
Yes,
basics of
yes.
business are very important. Or let's see another problem or another challenge which people face, especially in metro cities, urban cities, is lack of time, because travel time is so much, and then we have to learn, we have to excel in our own KRAs and KPIs that we have to, and then we are discussing that one should take stretch assignments, projects about other subdomains, volunteer for tasks, and also have time for attending events or learning. So how should one manage all this? What are your secrets?
So might be what I'm going to say, many people may not be liking. I do not believe the concept of work-life balance.
Okay.
I think this is a myth.
Okay.
We cannot be differentiate ourselves, work and life, because if we have some urgent priority, even if you are sleeping at your home, it will be ticking in your mind.
Correct.
Similarly, if your near and dear one is not having a good health, you have some kind of apprehension while doing your work. You cannot have a, I would say, mask type. You remove one mask, wear, family mask, wear work mask. I do not believe that.
Correct.
So, and second concept, what I will feel, Amit, is that we have control on our time. We make, I would say, a big balloon out of nowhere that we don't have time. If we think that daily 1 hour I will hit my zen, daily 2 hour I will be doing talking to my team, daily 5 hour this time I will be doing email checking, and this time I am going to sleep, I think it is, I would say, can do. Yes, there are abbreviation. For example, some foreign dignitaries have come. You have to go somewhere. It could be in 30 days, might be five or maybe 1 week. Your schedule might go derailed. But rest 24 days or rest 20 days, you can be on track. But that depends on you how you manage your time. So when people say I do not have time, when people say my work-life balance has gone down drain, I don't buy that. I think it's in our hand.
I think what is coming out very apparently, very strongly, Manas, is that passion that you mentioned. If you know what is your passion, if you know what is your true calling,
Yeah.
and then because you are passionate about it, so your work will not become your work, it will become your life.
Yes. True.
So to have mentors, to try to learn and meet people and understand about things and try to get your true calling as soon as possible is
Yeah.
what ultimately very powerful. All right. So see, we also talked about. I think it's almost 1 hour since we started. So we we have to.
It's been a good conversation so far. Yeah.
So see, we also there are two three things I again wanted to ask you. Talked about meditation also. So that meditation is also I would like to touch upon because nowadays people don't know too much about the power of meditation, and this is such an ancient science in India which is so
Yeah.
applicable in today's world also. So we'll talk about that. But before I talk about meditation, anything else you would like to add to the young HR professionals or mid-level HR professionals or senior HR professionals also who would be listening to this discussion?
Only one message, or I would say one take from my end is that we as a human should increase our listening power.
Very nice.
That is very, very important. So, irrespective of what role we are into, when someone comes to us, tells something, we always jump to the gun. In most cases, that yes, or we do not let the other person complete. Let us hear, let us listen. This listening skill, I believe, now it is need of the hour. HR professionals mostly because they come to you as a you are a people function holder, right? They come and they the person is telling something is not that relevant, but for him it is a big thing. So I
Correct.
believe have we should increase our capacity to listen. That is only I would say here. Yeah.
Very powerful. What about before we talk about the final thing, meditation? What about nowadays HR professionals generally or professionals generally, who are at the mid-level or higher, talk about how difficult it is to manage Gen Z.
Yeah.
Gen Z. But you mentioned that they are smarter than us, and so how to handle them or how to work with them.
So again, Gen Z is a new buzzword everywhere. Gen Z, Gen Z. But I think we are defaming this generation more than enough. What I'm trying to say, Amit, here one point. There could be 10 people within the Gen Z group, and within that 10 people, there would be different personality available.
Correct.
Where someone could be have the personality of Gen X, someone could be have the personality of millennial, irrespective of their date of birth. Why? Because of their cultural upbringing.
Correct.
So first, we should stop generalizing Gen Z is like that only. No. Within Gen Z, there are various I would say, personality types. So we should not generalize it. Second, as I say, it again boils down to the previous point. It's all about brain wiring. To
Correct.
know, and I firmly believe leadership skill or a successful leader is a that person who who does leadership skill based on the subordinates or the team
Correct.
members maturity level.
Correct.
Maturity level. And the maturity level depends on again the wiring of the brain. So if we know what kind of young talent is looking for, they are they need instant gratification. They do not want any kind of deferred gratification. So we need to understand their value system as well as we also need to tell us what as an organization is being followed and what is can be compromisable, what is can be adjustable. When we set the expectation right in the very beginning, I believe we can manage them well. But if we do not set the expectation right in the beginning, then either they will just swallow us or we will swallow them. Either way.
Very nice. See, there are so many things I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask about your message for people at the mid level, then people at the senior level. But so we have to stick to the timetable, and we maybe will will try
Yeah.
for another podcast shortly. So final question or final point, Manesh, how to keep calm in today's disruptive and challenging and VUCA world, and there is a new terminology. So how to keep calm and how useful is meditation?
Very beautiful question, Amit. I believe that the spiritual question is very, very important here. And we also need to have time for ourselves. When I'm saying time for ourselves, is silent time. And this silent time could be meditation, or you're not talking to anyone, or you are off from all kind of social media, all kind of screen. Just give rest to your brain as well as your eyes. Just reflect back. That is very, very important, like a self-talk. I
Okay.
think it is very difficult to do it, but again, as I say before, time is in our hand. If we consciously plan, it can be done, and it will always channelize our energy as well. And through that, you can do meditation, you can do yoga, or you can be on silent for some time. Do some self-talking is very, very important.
Very nice. Thank you. On that note, Manash, thank you so much. We had a wonderful discussion. We could
Same
have
here, Amit.
talked
Same
for.
here.
We
Thanks,
could,
thanks. Nice talking to you. Thank you. Thanks for
thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you, Manash.